Game 6 of the World Series. And here is this kid, Yordano Ventura, who turned 23 in June in a packed stadium, hoping that they get a chance to see Ventura pitch well tonight to force a Game 7. Take a look at the starting lineup for the San Francisco Giants. Brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. The top three: Gregor Blanco, then Joe Panik, then Buster Posey. In the middle, Pablo Sandoval, Hunter Pence, and Brandon Belt. The back end, the DH is Michael Morse. Left field, Travis Ishikawa. The shortstop, Brandon Crawford. There he is, Ventura. A live look at the 6-footer. He's 180 pounds from the Dominican Republic. And there are the numbers this postseason after the rookie won 14 games during the regular year.
Well, we talked a lot about his fastball in Game 2. He didn't disappoint. He came out throwing 8 straight fastballs, and the 8th one wound up out of the park off the bat of Gregor Blanco. I think you'll see a different Ventura with more of his secondary pitches early in the counts.
You can see the tribute on his cap to the late Oscar Taveras. Meanwhile, the opening pitch brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball. Here's to Budweiser. Here's to baseball. And Yordano, 23-year-old, told his catcher Salvador Perez that he will pitch tonight to honor the memory of his close friend, the late Oscar Taveras. Howley Fair, first up, Blanco. Ball one outside at 97 from Ventura.
I think this time around he's going to be a little more comfortable with the routine. Hey, throw the first ball out of the game. Remember that? Okay, he did it now. And the last game, when he pitched here, he forgot how many outs there were to end the inning. I think he's a little more into it tonight.
Up and away, 2-0 on Blanco.
Now, if Gregor Blanco hits one out of the ballpark, we got another conversation to have.
You know what he's sitting on.
Sitting on a 2-0 fastball, and he takes a strike from the outside part. Blanco hasn't hit much this postseason, just 172, but he has drawn 9 walks. That is over but low, and the count 3-1. Fourth postseason start for Ventura. Full count. One down. Defensively behind Ventura, Gordon, the Gold Glover in left. Now back in Kansas City, it's Kane back in center with Nori Aoki in right. Staying on the right side, Hosmer at first, Omar Infante at second. The shortstop, Alcides Escobar. Mike Moustakas at third. The catcher is as good as they get, Salvador Perez. And Ventura now has thrown 3 straight strikes. 0-1 on Joe Panik.
Well, Tom, you talked about how he came out attacking in the first game. This time, nice and easy, loose gas.
1 out, nobody on. Panik, who is 5-20 in this World Series. Flies into right center field. Kane's there. 2 down.
My goodness, look where Lorenzo Cain's playing in left center field. Look at the jump he gets and how far he goes to get it. I mean, it's almost like having a rover out there and having 2 outfielders. It's been amazing this series.
Now Buster Posey. "17 hits this postseason. All 17 have been singles." 2-0.
A lot of fastballs early. Pitch to Panic was a changeup, not very good. I still think the curveball is going to determine his success tonight.
Broadcast also streaming live on the Fox Sports Go app, foxsportsgo.com, and for coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes. 3-1.
Joe, one reason I say that, we've talked about this before, the Giants the best in baseball at hitting upper velocity fastballs. In that game 2 start, they swung and missed only once. 61 fastballs from Ventura. Well, he's already got one swing and miss tonight.
Left side. Escobar has time in the yard. A perfect first for the kid. You guys will really be looking at Jake Peavy. The lineup for the Royals brought to you by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. Alcides Escobar leads it off. Aoki back in the lineup. Then Lorenzo Cain. He's already made a good catch. Eric Hosmer, Billy Butler, the DH. Royals happy to have him back in there. Alex Gordon in left. Salvador Perez. Mike Moustakas hitting 8th. And Omar Infante batting in the number 9 spot. And here is the right-hander. He will have a short leash tonight. The numbers this postseason is one real good start. Was in the divisional round against the Nationals. But his numbers in the postseason are not good, and his numbers against the Royals here in this park are not good.
I think the challenge for Jake Peavy is in the American League. You got the extra hitter, the DH. But Tom, we talked about the aggressiveness of the Giants. The Royals have been just as aggressive swinging early accounts.
They have good numbers against Jake Peavy, starting with this guy right here, Escobar, 440 lifetime against Jake Peavy.
Jake in his postseason career has made 8 starts. He's 1-4 with an ERA over 7, and he's never pitched more than 5 2/3 innings in any start. The 33-year-old brings it. Escobar takes a strike. Just to finish on Jake, his career in this ballpark, 8 starts, 1-6 with an ERA of 6.5. There are the numbers for his postseason career. Escobar showed bunt, took a strike, and now hits one into right. Pence is there, and that's out number 1. How about defensively for the Giants? Ishikawa still out in left. Gregor Blanco in center, Hunter Pence in right. On the right side, Belt, very good first baseman. Panic, the rookie second baseman. Shortstop, outstanding. Brandon Crawford. Pablo Sandoval, free agent to be a third. Buster Posey guiding Jake Peavy tonight. Batter is Nori Aoki. Barely seen him since game 2. Ball 1 outside, and Peavy froze, thought that was strike 1. Instead, ball 1 outside. That's a strike, 1-1.
You see Jeff Kellogg behind the plate. I think the umpire's strike zone across baseball more uniform than ever because of tracking devices, but he does have a reputation more of a hitter's umpire than a pitcher's umpire.
That's on the inside corner, strike 2.
Aoki said, "What'd you say, Tom?" That doesn't look like a hidden call
there.
Here's a 1-2. Just fought it off the hands. Wow. Jeff Kellogg's the crew chief. He's working the plate. Jeff Nelson at first. Eric Cooper at second. Jim Reynolds at third with Ted Barrett in left. Hunter Wendelstedt. And an active night in San Francisco, game 5. He's in right. Jerry Meals is the replay umpire in New York. A 1-2. Aoki strikes out on a late swing, 2 down.
Nice pitch right there by Peavy. Went in and out and decided he's going to come back in on him. This ball's going to not come back like Aoki thought it might. throwing it by him. Well, anytime that you're discussing umpires and they don't become the subject of the game, they've done a good job. And we've had that through 5 games. It has not been the conversation of the umpire.
Here is Lorenzo Cain batting in the number 3 spot. Strike 1. And Tom, if there's anything you worry about if you're the Giants with regard to Peavy, it's that he would get too amped up for this start here tonight. That does not appear to be the case here in the first.
He looks much more sharp in the early going than he did in game 2 when he had trouble in the first and second innings.
1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, the adjustment Peavy has made. Cain, the first pitch, breaking ball. Then he went away. You look at how he pitched to Escobar, away, Aoki in. So he's done a nice job of changing the pattern what these guys saw from last time.
That's over with low, ball 2. Steve Righetti, pitching coach for the Giants. Ball's inside. You count 3-1.
You can hear Peavy screaming for that pitch. He wanted that to be a strike.
I don't know if it was Peavy or from the dugout, but Jeff Kellogg's got a lot of help tonight.
That's a strike, and it's a full count. Shown good movement on these pitches from Peavy here in the first. The 3-2. That's down and a 2-out walk.
Same shaking his head. He's not really liking the zone yet.
Here's Hosmer. Eric's already got 18 hits this postseason. 5 of them in this World Series in 19 at-bats. Nice pick by Posey, ball 1.
Do the Royals try to make a statement, Harold, early in the game with the running game? You got Hosmer an offensive count here, but watching Buster Posey, he was looking at the lead of Lorenzo Cain at first base even before he put a sign down.
And that's already affecting the game when you do that. Cain does not like to run with Hosmer up. He likes to try to give him that hole and knows that park is big. He can drive a ball in the gap.
Think about this for the Royals. The first 2 rounds of the postseason, Kansas City 12 for 13 stealing bases. From the ALCS through tonight, 2 for 5. When you talk about that wild card game, the statement was made early on the 30th of September when Kansas City stole 7 bases in that game. Big reason why they were able to overcome 2 deficits and beat the A's.
Yeah, and Ned Yost did say, though, we're going to steal bases intelligently. We're not going to run just to run. They're going to pick the right pitch in the right situation. It's a good count to run if you want to. They're trying to pick a breaking ball, something off speed.
This is something the Giants do much better than the Oakland pitchers. Varying the holds, the starting pitcher, checking the runner.
Count 2-1. In case you're wondering, Buster Posey threw out 22% of potential base stealers, about middle of the pack, right around average. He's 1 for 2 in cutting down base stealers in this World Series.
He doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's accurate. So you have to get a good jump, be precise. But I don't think they run this situation. I'd be surprised.
That's into left field and down in front of Ishikawa. He slips and left. Kane to third, and they're going to hold him. First and third, 2 out.
So they may not steal the bases, but here's where they put the pressure on. I thought right there, Ishikawa with a great recovery, but I thought Kane was going to continue to be sent home.
Well, Mike Jersley, the third base coach, was sending him home because not only does Ishikawa slip, he throws the ball to second base. Jersley saw that. He thought he could steal a run with the throw going to second. San Lorenzo came home.
Yeah, but see where he's at? He's not down the line far enough for Kane to make an adjustment. If he's further down towards home plate, you can see him better.
Kane stopped, and it was a good thing he did for Kansas City because the ball came back in. As Ishikawa recovered, now it's Billy Butler. Strike one from Jake Peavy. The numbers are big for Billy Butler, as you saw, 15 out of 35 in his career against the San Francisco right-hander.
A great low ball hitter. Peavy likes to keep the ball down and away to right-handed hitters.
Royals are 0 for their last 9 with runners in scoring position in this World Series. They have not scored in 15 straight innings. This game has come to a screeching halt.
Well, you see what happens when runners get on. And first and third, they'll steal a run. Kane's got a big lead at third. Hosmer can run a little bit. So they're thinking right now a lot.
To the shortstop, Crawford. The short way, and the Royals lead 2. With a walk and a hit by Kane and Hosmer. And after 1 in Game 6 in Kansas City, no score. He battled back from a 3-1 count to get Blanco to start his night. That fastball misses up, ball 1. Sandoval's only hit 390 in 10 games in his World Series career. This postseason in 338. Count 2-0.
It's pretty good.
Look at the numbers. Look at the swings. Look at what this guy brings with him. 3 home runs during the World Series. 8 RBIs, 7 runs scored. He plays the heck out of third base. Off the hands on 2-0. It's 2-1.
You know, you have to see a guy play, I guess, in the World Series, and you go, wow, he's really a good player. If you watch him throughout the year, he does so many things. Like the ground ball we saw the other day, we picked it on the mat hop. Bare hands the night before.
Didn't get his arms extended into center field. That's Lorenzo Cain. That's 1 out. I mean, look, here's Pablo Sandoval, who was benched in 2010. Juan Uribe was the starting third baseman for the Giants in 2010. That woke up Sandoval. In 2012, he was the MVP of the World Series. His weight has fluctuated, and he came to spring training this year down a lot. As Hunter Pence digs in, as Bruce Bochy, the Giants manager, said he's put on a few since spring training, but weight has been an issue as he heads into free agency at the end of this World Series. Strike 1 on Hunter Pence.
I think, Joe, the lighter weight, he's a better defender at third base. Thought he had an excellent year defensively because of that. And actually, I think he's a better hitter in the postseason because he's more focused, better plate discipline.
That's outside, a ball and a strike on Pence, who's red hot.
I think some guys just play better heavy. He might fit in that category. We'll see.
We'll see who lines up to sign him. he leaves the Giants, they'll miss him. That is a fair ball down the right field line. Aoki coming to get it, but Pence is digging for two. He's got a double. He is hitting .500, 10 out of 20 in this World Series.
You want to know how red hot Hunter Pence is? Look where this pitch is at. Down and away, breaks his bat, stays with it, and it stays fair. When you're hot, it's fair. When you're not, it's foul.
Cutter breaking away from him, and you're right off the end of the bat, breaking it. That's a guy who uses the entire field, just barely fair down the line.
RBI chance for Brandon Belt. He's had some good swings in this World Series. He's actually hit better away from home, 346 on the road during the postseason. They're the overall numbers with 8 RBIs. That's a big one sitting out there for the Giants as they try to end the World Series here tonight. Right by his back, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I know, Harold, you've been waiting all series long for Belt to catch up with one of these inside heaters. This one, a two-seamer, runs back over the plate by him.
They've found a hole and they've exploited it.
Runner at second, 1 out. Off the hand, strike 2.
Back in again.
Yeah, but if you're going to go in there, you better be mid-90s and up. And that's what they've been bringing. You look at anybody who's got the hard fastball like a stamp like this, you can get a ball in that circle. Right there, that's what they've been trying to do the whole series, and he just has not been able to turn on them.
Inside, 2-2 at 98.
He went for the knockout right there.
Good numbers in this type situation for Belt. Runner in scoring position, 6 for 17. Hunter Pence always in the middle of it. He's at second, 1 out. A strikeout, 2 down.
What happens to a hitter when he knows they're trying to get inside? You try to speed yourself up, and all of a sudden you find yourself pulling off pitches that you shouldn't even be swinging at. That's what's happening with Brandon Belt. They've got him so conscious inside now that he's trying to start to swing early, and he has nothing left.
Now it's the DH, Michael Morse. Big home run in Game 5 of the NLCS to tie it in the 8th. 3 for 9 in this World Series. Runner at second, 2 out. Fly ball into right. Back is Aoki on the track. He's there to end the inning. Sometimes he does not take the most direct route. But curving around the warning track, he's there. And we're through an inning and a half. No score in Game 6. Driven. No score, bottom of the second. It'll be Alex Gordon, Salvador Perez, and Mike Moustakas against Jake Peavy, who got around a 2-out walk and a hit in the first. Gordon just 2 for 20 in this World Series. Good numbers against Peavy. Strike 1 from the Giant right-hander. Off the end of the bat, might drop. Right center, big hit. When you're managing in a World Series, you never know who's going to reach out. Certainly the case for Ned Yost. For more on that, down to Aaron Andrews.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. Our entire crew has enjoyed visiting with Ned Yost. He's 6 for 6 with stories with our crew, and today he didn't disappoint. He got an email from General Martin E. Dempsey. That's the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. By law, he's the nation's highest-ranking military officer, and he sent him an email saying, you got him right where you want him, at home. And then added this: As Joshua Chamberlain said when he faced difficult odds at Little Round Top at the Battle of Gettysburg, fix the bayonets. Proud of you.
Well, he's got a leadoff hit here as Salvador Perez takes a pitch down and in, ball one. With Moustakas and Infante to follow here in the second inning.
The one thing about the defensive alignment in the outfield for the Giants, they play extremely deep. And Travis Ishikawa in left field, that's a bit of a risk with Peavy, an extreme fly ball pitcher on the mound.
Big hole on the right side of the infield. That misses down and away 2-0. And again, it's worth repeating. Any trouble for Jake Peavy. Petit is ready in the bullpen for San Francisco as we make our way through this game.
That is a nice weapon to have, knowing that he's back there. A nice luxury.
Yusmeiro Petit, who has been so good this postseason, unscored upon. That is in the right center. It is cut off by Pence, but going first to third is Gordon with nobody out.
Well, we talked about the cat and mouse, the adjustments. Peavy's been away with every pick batter so far. Great piece of driving the ball the other way by Perez. Watch him go down and get it. And this was a line drive right at second base. When it left the bat, I thought for sure Panic was going to have it. It was hit so low.
Great job there by Gordon as you see Petit get up. He actually stopped to make sure it got by Panic, but when he saw Pence take the route to go back on the ball, made the right decision to advance to third.
Now Moustakas. Ball one outside as Petit gets ready here in the second inning.
Again, Peavy stand on the outside half. Clearly, he's made an adjustment, thinking he can get guys away. But as you go through the lineup, you stay the same way. Guys talk in the dugout.
1 strike on Moustakas. First 6 games of this postseason in .318 with 4 home runs, 5 RBIs over the last 7. Not 1 RBI and hitting $130.
Well, Joe, we've seen it time and time again. This is where you got to put the ball in play. They double him off, you pick up a run, you push the ball on the ground, anywhere in the infield, they're thinking about giving you a run, trying to at least cut a run off. A big inning off, I should say.
Royals trying to score their first run since the 3rd inning of Game 4. Shut out by Bumgarner Game 5, and again Peavy has to go through the signs. Scores. Going to third is Perez. Going to second is Moustakas as the Royals lead 1-0 in the second.
Away. Now trying in with the breaking ball. So a pull hitter who loves the ball in and just gets it past Brandon Belt.
I think part of the visit here is Dave Righetti's watching what we watch. Continually shaking off signs. There's indecision. And when you have that indecision, they start worrying about what's his conviction with his pitches.
A little bit surprised Belt got so far off the base with the pull hitter up, but it's also a function with the runner on. Panic, the second baseman, has not swung over the usual extreme pull shift.
Well, you have a conversation. How are you going to attack guys? He's been away. and he shook off and got away from the attack that they wanted to do. Now your defender is thinking the ball's going to be away, so he came off the base further than he probably would.
Now it's Infante, second and third, nobody out. And this crowd is having fun here in the second. Infield creeps in. Strike one on Infante. The pitch down and away.
Infield in, decision here from Ned Yost. You put the contact play on, have the runner running on contact when the ball contacts the ground. Typically you'll see that with a trail runner at second, but with no outs, more of a risk.
I think Peavy's in deep trouble. And this inning can get away from him right here. Real quick.
Strike, and now the left-hander Javier Lopez joins Petit.
Salvador Perez, I don't think he has any interest in getting off the bag at third base, so he's probably in a hold situation, make sure the ball gets through the infield.
Good pitch from Peavy, strike two.
Looking at the bullpen and watching them warm up, I'm wondering, Lopez kind of surprises me. I can see Petit, but I'm looking at the maybe possibly getting to a left-hander to get out of it, or how he might try to match. I was a little bit surprised to see Lopez up. I know he's not just exclusively a left-handed specialist. Interesting nonetheless.
Pitcher spot due up second in the top of the third. Second and third, nobody out. 1-2 pitch from Peavy. Strikeout in a big one, and he kept it away from Infante with every pitch. Strikeout number 2.
Yeah, that's his best pitch. Cut fastball. Starts on the corner of the plate and works off the plate. Excellent location under pressure by Jake Peavy.
So now second and third, one out. Yeah, thanks for the note. The DH, the number 9 spot, is due up second in the third inning. It would be Ishikawa, Crawford, and Blanco. If you're wondering about a left-hander with Lopez getting ready, there's a left-hander on deck in Aoki. He did not have a good first at bat against Peavy, and then Hosmer looming 2 batters later. Second and third, one down, and ball one. And again, it's away, away, away. This time it's Escobar.
Well, you stick to the game plan you came in thinking you can get guys out with. You made the one mistake and changed up with Moustakas, and it burned them because your defense wasn't ready for it as well.
Now I would have the contact play on, and Perez getting a little bit more of an aggressive lead at third.
Escobar flying to right his first time up. Here's a 1-0. Gets the corner, ball to strike.
I know a lot of people like the contact play. That's when the hitter puts the ball in play and you're running, but I don't like it. I think your major league infielders, I'm going to throw out the big slow catcher at the plate. I'd rather have second and third set up for the next hitter. That's just my thing.
Next hitter is Oki. Lopez and Petit ready in the bullpen now if Bochy wants to go that way. Here's a 1-1. Strike 2. And that's as hard as we've seen Peavy throw. He reared back for something extra here.
Yeah, and that was a swing that looked like a guy expecting cutter. And the fastball by him.
He's made 5 great pitches for the 5 strikes he's got in this situation.
Got the hitter Escobar set up, and a ground ball right side. The safe at first as the runners hold. Belt was looking at third. Perez stayed put. Bases loaded.
Well, the ball's bringing Belt to the plate, And like most people anticipate, you're going to go on contact. Watch the ball, bring him towards the plate. He's going to look to go home, and now it's a foot race. And we watched this earlier with the pitcher getting caught when Volgasong went for the same ball. Remember that? And he didn't cover first. Peavy's yelling home, and that made Belt hesitate. I think Belt saw it on his own, started to go to first, and Peavy, watch Peavy. He's going to point home, home, home. And it messed him up. And now he had no play.
I think he still had time to flip to panic.
But see,
Peavy's yelling home, but right here he's got time to flip to panic. Miscalculated the speed of Escobar.
So now the bases are loaded with 1 out, and it's Aoki, the left-handed batter, and no sign of Lopez. It's an infield hit for Escobar. 4th hit of the inning, but only 1 run has crossed the plate. Aoki struck out his first time.
Think about that play, Joe, too. With Perez not running, he's dead at home. That's just giving him an easy routine out. And now you see what happened. It created some things that happened on that play. So the runner at third is going to dictate the contact play. If that's Kane or Dyson or somebody, okay, maybe, but not him.
There's a strike, guys. We've seen Peavy persevere at times in innings when you think he's cooked. We saw it in the NLCS. We even saw it in Game 2 of this World Series. He's made good pitches now that he's gotten into trouble.
And I think that's what Bruce Bochy is saying. He likes his stuff. Otherwise, you'd have Lopez in for Aoki. That's why you had Lopez up.
Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Now Peavy's got the Kansas City right fielder set up at 0-2.
Because if you wait now to bring Lopez in for Hosmer, well, that means you're in deep trouble at that point. That's 2 batters away.
But Joe, I think you make a great point. I mean, I said he's in deep trouble. When he had Infante at the plate, he made 3 great pitches to get the strikeout. And then he battled Escobar, hit a number. What are you going to do? He's done a nice job of trying to navigate.
Manager stuck with him. Here's his 0-2. Aoki was totally jammed his first time up on a pitch off the inside part of the plate. Peavy looked like he was trying to go back into that spot right there. His only home run for the year was a grand slam in August at Arizona. Aoki is just trying to put it in play. 0 for 9 in this World Series. Here is an 0-2 pitch. Ball 1. Fouled back by Aoki.
Missed one right there. Of all the pitches he's thrown in this stressful situation this half inning, this is the only mistake he made. This ball's right down the middle.
Aoki did not make a start in San Francisco. The spot taken by Dyson. He's had 1 at bat since Game 2. coming into tonight. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He's up there battling. Set up still at 1-2.
Best contact hitter on this Kansas City team. You mentioned it, Joe, first time up, got tied up on the inside fastball. He can take some of the ugliest emergency swings you'll ever see, but oftentimes very effective.
They had a scoring change on the ball hit by Escobar. They've taken the single away and scored at a fielder's choice to load the bases. And now the 1-2 from Jake Peavy. That's left side, base hit. 1 run scores, that's all. 2-0 Kansas City. And that's it for Jake Peavy. Peavy leads with the bases loaded, 2 runs home. The postseason savior, Petit, coming in with Lorenzo Cain coming up. A third. 42 pitches. He leaves with the bases loaded. Yusmeiro Petit takes over. His numbers are phenomenal. This postseason, there they are. No runs in 12 innings. A 3-0 record. His 4th appearance. He's a big man. He's got shorter arms. He's tough to pick up. And Lorenzo Cain will dig in. He walked his first time up. Bases loaded, 1 out. Petit. Ball 1 outside.
Typically, they like to bring Petit in, clean inning, start an inning. Last time he inherited runners in the game was back in August the 23rd. Thrown into the fire right away.
One ball, 1 strike. He told us after getting the win in Game 4 that he was ready the next night for 3 innings if Bruce Bochy needed him, and said, I don't care, coming out of the bullpen, starting, whatever, I'd be ready to throw 85, 90 pitches. But tonight it was Jake Peavy getting the baseball from Bruce Bochy, and he cannot get through 2. He did make 12 starts this year. That is a strike over the inside corner, strike 2.
One of the things he told us is he loves to read the hitter's swings. The pitch before, you saw Cain very comfortable on the pitch away, comes back and pounds him inside. Very interesting listening to Petit talk about the way he reads hitters' swings.
And I just noticed from up here why he's so hard to pick up. It all comes out of the same arm slot. The ball away, the first 2 pitches looked like the same pitch he threw that was inside. He's just tough to pick up.
Here is a 1-2 pitch. Cain fights it off. How good has number 52 been for San Francisco? Go back to the division series. He went 6 innings. Game 2, that 18-inning affair allowed only 1 base hit. He got a base hit the last time we saw him back in San Francisco. The numbers are phenomenal. Here comes a 1-2. Blocked by Posey, ball 2.
And Joe, his name is Yusmeiro. We talked to him about it the other day. Everybody's been calling him Yusmeiro. It's Yusmeiro, like tomato. He made it real clear to us. That's how you say his name properly.
Well, this is the first time in his career that he's entered a game with the bases loaded. This is his 67th career relief outing. nowhere to put Kane with a count of now 2-2. He's Mato with one out. Fly ball into shallow right, might drop. It will. 1 run scores. Here comes Escobar over the third. Aoki. It's 4-0.
Swing by Kane, he fights it off. But what made this play to me is watch the read that Escobar gets at second. He's off and running. This ball off the bat, it looked like Blanco was going to have a chance to get to it. He's off immediately. You even saw the runner at third hesitate for a second.
Yeah, and you saw Blanco look home when actually Aoki, who hesitated at first, was the surer out at third base. So his hesitation looking home allows Aoki to third.
Now it's Hosmer. Check on the rotary first. Kane gets back.
It looked like he was leaning to run. This is the opportunity to really put a dagger in him. And this is when you run. First and third. You got that runner at third base who can come home on the throw back down. So you always try to take advantage of that when you're the runner at first base and take off and get an easy bag.
Good rip by Hosmer, strike one. But how about this postseason for Lorenzo Cain? He's a guy that was traded to this organization from Milwaukee, former 17th round pick that happened back in 2004. Played collegiately at Tallahassee Community College and didn't play baseball until he was cut from the basketball team his sophomore year in high school. And he picked baseball because his mom wouldn't let him play football. The MVP, Tom, of the ALCS, and I mean, he has done everything seemingly right this postseason.
Joe, on the day of the draft, the Brewers called him to say they drafted him. He didn't even know it was draft day. That's how much of an under-the-radar prospect he was in his own mind.
Well, I got to give the Brewers and also the Royals a lot of credit. You look at him and Dyson, a 50-round draft pick. You know, it's about development. They took the courage to develop these kids instead of getting a ready done product.
Time called. That won't count. Time was granted at home plate. And with the runner going, the base hit, the crowd doesn't like it, but clearly time had been granted.
You almost never see that. But time is close, and there it goes ahead and swings the bat.
He's yelling time, 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 time. He's got it. But we saw this the other day. You go ahead, if you get the pitch, you swing. It's so loud in here that he's not going to hear the umpire say time as close as he is.
Like Kane running here, I think the Royals really have to get back to that game. Almost like a basketball team that wants to run, a football team that wants to quicken up the pace. Establish your game.
You just don't see that.
No.
Not where he gets a base hit.
That bounces in, and Kane will take second with one out. The wild pitch makes it second and third.
From the onset of this game, they set a tone, though. Even though Kane was not running in the first inning, he was giving Hosmer the hole. He went first to third.
That ball caught Buster Posey. He didn't block it. The ball blocked him.
Now the infield in. Hosmer, two sitting out there. Chops it over the head of Crawford. It is 6-0. Hosmer dives into second with a two-run double.
thought they took the AstroTurf out of Kauffman Stadium. This is an AstroTurf hit. Now, if you look at from the place where this ball hits, they hardened that down. We talked about the last time we were here because they play a different brand of ball. When you're a team that can run, you want the ball in the dirt to give you a chance.
That's exactly right. They hit more ground balls than any team in baseball. So why not keep it hard? And once again, I said this outfield for the Giants plays so deep. And Hosmer knows that. Knows that a ground ball that hits 2 inches in front of the plate, he can run it into a double because of the extreme depth of the Giants outfield.
That got lost watching the hopper. What a play by Hosmer.
Now Billy Butler, runner at second. Hosmer still only 1 out. 9th man to bat in the inning. Good rip by Butler on a pitch that was up. Tonight, it's the Giants that can't put the Royal hitters away. San Francisco's had 2 strikes on the last 5 hitters. And that's why this outburst has happened here in the second.
You'd have told me it was going to be 6-0 before the second inning ended. Said no way.
Butler strike 2. So the final line for Peavy, an inning and a third. We saw him leave. 5 runs on 5 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts. 1 run on the record of Petit. It's the first that scored against him in this long postseason. Center. Blanco will not get there. 7-0. Butler with an RBI double.
Petit's been beating people with fastballs that hitters just don't track. Almost like a magician. Magic is gone tonight. Kansas City on top of anything he throws up there right now.
And now Gordon, who started this with a broken bat base hit, is out in front. Strike 1 as Tim Lincecum gets loose. 7 runs put up here by Kansas City, the most they have scored in a postseason inning in their franchise history. That's hard hit. Nice play, Belt. He'll go to the bag. 2 down. Over to third is Butler.
I think also what you're seeing, you see this ball hammered. Nice play by Belt. Is Petit within a window of about 3 days, and the hitters get to see him again. It's the advantage of playing a series where you get a chance to see a pitcher repeatedly, and particularly a guy out of the bullpen you don't get to see very often.
Now Salvador Perez, who has a hit and a run scored in this inning. Tom, let's go back over this inning. After the jam, the RBI double by Moustakas, Peavy got a strikeout of Infante. The ball kept on the infield off the bat of Escobar. You see Javier Lopez, a lefty, getting ready. You think that's for Aoki. I think the pitching of Peavy fooled Bochy into leaving him in there, and Lopez stays in the bullpen.
Really the key at bat, if you want to pick up one, was the Aoki at bat.
Here's a foul ball left side, long run, Sandoval ends the inning.
That was because I think he also got fooled that Peavy struck him out in the first inning.
Aoki got it. for an RBI single. Later, a run scored. A half inning that lasts over a half hour excites these fans. Up 7-0 Kansas. Before the number 8 hitter in the Giants lineup bats for the first time tonight. Royals lead it 7-0. By the way, they have now changed that scoring again on the ball hit by Escobar in that 7-run second inning to a base hit. So they've gone base hit to fielder's choice, back to base hit.
Tune in next inning, see what it is. Can't wait.
There are 3 official scorers, so I guess
they're arm wrestling back there
in a steel cage match to see if it's a hit. Here's Machi. Ishikawa strikes out, 1 down. Here's the play we're talking about.
So here's the play. You got second and third. I think this is the biggest play of the game right now for me. He starts to come in. He's going to go home. His choice and decision was to not go home. That's why I don't think it's a hit. Now, on the other side, if I'm hitting that ball, I want my knock. But right here, he makes the decision. I think PB yelling home messed him up. So how do you read it? Is there's no flip to be made. It's a foot race to first. So that's why I think they rule base hit. But I can clearly see where you can make a decision was made on a fielder's choice.
Here's Crawford now, 1 out, nobody on. Brandon 6 out of 18. Strike 1 from Ventura. Here in inning number 3. He's hit in every World Series game this season. 7 straight overall.
It all gets back to that Kansas City speed, doesn't it? Hesitate a second, you get burned.
1 ball, 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike on Crawford. 1 out, nobody on here in the 3rd inning. That is inside 2-1.
This crowd's buzzing. It's like they're still trying to process what the heck just happened last night. There's so much going on. Not that they don't enjoy it. There's a buzz right now in this crowd.
2-1 the count on Crawford. That's down 3-1 from the rookie Ventura.
Ned Yost, all you're saying is throw strikes, big boy.
Ned Yost, who used to take a golf cart over to watch Rodano Ventura when he was in the lower minor leagues, pitched during spring training because his stuff was so electric. And there's his first walk of the night as we take you down to our buddy Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, as Halloween approaches, there are some eerie similarities between the Royals' position coming into tonight and their position against the Cardinals in 1985. Both times they came home down 3-2. Both times they scored just 15 runs in the first 5 games, and both times they had been dominated by the opponent's ace. Madison Bumgarner's numbers, in fact, in his 2 starts are almost identical to what John Tudor's were then. And get this. Game 7 in 1985, they won 11-0 behind a 21-year-old Brett Saberhagen, 23-year-old Rodano Ventura on the mound tonight.
Ken, thanks. Here's ball 1 up and away to Gregor Blanco, and that brings Salvador Perez out to the mound to try and say, I'm sure, although in Spanish, exactly what you just said, Harold, throw strikes.
You just have, it's tough when you have a big half inning. He's sitting there seeing all the runs scored. Get back into the flow of the game and don't lose your edge. Let them hit it. They're going to hit it. Remember, you got a big ballpark. You're going to hit the ball hard. Let them earn it if they're going to hit a ball out of the ballpark.
Crawford drew a walk, and now 2-0 on Gregor Blanco with a rookie panic on deck.
Tom, how often do we see it? It's easier said than done. Throw strikes.
Yeah, we saw it earlier in this series with another half-hour plus inning with Herrera.
There's ball 3 as Perez maybe thought he had strike 1. Instead, it's 3-0. You can see why he liked it. Now ball 4, back-to-back walks as the Giants will try to climb back into this game. 2 on, 1 out.
It's a matter of chipping away. It's only 3rd inning.
So now Dave Island out to chat. For the game, Kansas City's all-time saves leader Jeff Montgomery delivered the game ball with Hannah Moyer, the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence, Kansas. Jeff Montgomery, by the way, retired in 1999 with 304 saves with the Royals, topping the previous record of 238 by the late, the great, and the hilarious Dan Quisenberry. For nearly 20 years, Major League Baseball has partnered with Boys and Girls Clubs of America to provide kids with a world of opportunities. Each year, Boys and Girls Clubs provide more than 4 million kids the chance to have a great future. Go to greatfutures.org and find out how you can help.
One of the great youth organizations in this country.
No doubt about it. Well, here's Panic. Joe could help the Giants feel a lot better about themselves here in the 3rd inning with 2 on, 1 out. Ventura. Strike 1. Panic flied into center, but it was not a routine play. It was a really good running catch by Lorenzo Cain to his left. Rob Panic of an extra base hit in the 1st. That's up and away, a ball and a strike.
Well, the one thing that has happened when you fall down 7 runs, as the offensive team, you know he's coming with his fastball. The Giants have a chance to jump back in this thing before he blinks if he doesn't get it together.
Got the 3-4 combination after Panic. Strike 2. But then on the other side, you've got Ventura, who has the equalizer for any inning that's getting out of control with a good strikeout type stuff.
There it goes.
Panic stays up there.
Watching Ventura work, I think about the job scouts do and how much they have to project. The Royals signed him at age 16. He weighed 120 pounds and threw 83 miles an hour. Signed him for just $28,000. This year in April, he threw the fastest pitch ever recorded from a starting pitcher, 102 miles an hour.
Hear scouts talk about the way the ball jumps off a bat. For a certain prospect, it just looks or sounds different than other guys that they see. And then for a pitcher, live arm. That's what they look for. This live arm. It's become a lot more alive over the last few years.
Just easy, no grunt. Just here it is.
I love that story you told, Joe, about Ned Yost going to watch him throw bullpen sessions. Now, the kid was not going to make the roster back then. It was pure entertainment value for Ned Yost. I want to see that kid warm up. That's how electric he is.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 on, 1 out here in the 3rd inning. Panic in a battle with Ventura.
Well, he's trying to mix in a little bit more off speed. Back-to-back changeups right there. Again, and put the ball in play with 2 strikes, Tom.
Very comfortable in this spot with 2 strikes.
Another 1-2. That's inside, 2-2.
Part of his 2-strike approach. It's not just the short, quick swing. It's the discipline not to go outside the zone with 2 strikes.
He's flirting around with trouble.
Panic would like to deliver some trouble here in the 3rd. 2 on, 1 out. And now a full count with Buster Posey on deck in a 7-0 game.
And that's my point, Joe. You're going to the part of the sport, and instead of attacking when he got 2 strikes, he started throwing changeups, trying to mess around, a little cutter. He's back there at 98.
is up there just spoiling pitches. It stays full.
I think sometimes American League pitchers forget how hard it is to hit because they don't hit. 98, 97, you can tell you it's coming and you're still hard to square it up.
The 11th pitch of this at bat coming. Good work by Panic. And he walks to load the bases. And that's going to make Ned Yost go into the tunnel. The bases loaded, only one out. Here's Buster Posey, and with one swing, the Giants are right back in this game.
It's been a long time, but how about back in 2012, the DS, he was just 3 for 17 before this grand slam that sent the Giants into the NLCS. Hensley Newlands, the hitting coach, has been saying, Buster, just one swing away. Career-long stretch without an extra base hit coming into this at-bat.
And they turn two. They do. The inning is over. Ventura walked the bases loaded and then got Posey on a 6-3 double play. Into bottom of the third inning rolls in. Gene Machi will take over on a crisp night in Kansas City, Missouri. Here's Machi after Petit, who's been phenomenal this postseason. Came in with the bases loaded. Went 2/3 of an inning, 2 runs, 3 hits. Makes all the sense in the world to me to get Petit out of the game tonight and have him available if you need him tomorrow in a Game 7, if there is one.
I totally agree. I mean, you really start managing Game 7 at this point. Not to say you're out of it, but in terms of how you leverage your pitchers, absolutely.
Moustakas had an RBI double and a run scored in that 7-run, 8-hit second. And he is even with a count here, 1 ball, 1 strike. Petit threw only 17 pitches here tonight. And again, it's worth, we may wear this out before the end of the night, but Tom, we came on the air talking about the availability of Madison Bumgarner in Game 7. And if that's not the great equalizer, if you need somebody in long relief, I don't know what is.
Absolutely. Bumgarner, I'm sure, politicking to be available tonight, but that was one reason Bruce Bochy could go to Petit so quickly tonight, knowing that if he did have to extend him, he has Bumgarner as his long man for our Game 7.
Machi on 1 and 2 gets a ground ball right side. That's Crawford, the shortstop, on the other side of the bag. That's 1 out. We had a chance to visit with Ned Yost, the manager of Kansas City. Brought to you by DirecTV, and the first question was actually about the top of this inning when his young right-hander walked the bases loaded, if he was doing okay down there in the dugout.
Yeah, no. You know, we're just looking at some of those pitches. They're pretty close and just wanting to see where the location was.
Hey, tell us about your team. I mean, I said coming in, if anybody thinks your group is worried being down 3-2, they're wrong, and they showed it with that 7-run second.
Yeah, this group had a lot of confidence coming in today. They were very, very loose on the plate right after San Francisco. You know, I said it, we brought all our families, and after Game 5 loss, the only ones that were crying were the little babies in the back. So, you know, our guys were ready to play today. Ventura's been throwing the ball excellent. Big 7-run inning right there was huge.
Yeah, this crowd is something too, isn't it?
Yeah, this is unbelievable. This is why we were dying to get back to Kansas City and play Game 6, because the energy that's in this stadium and the passion that's in this city for this baseball team is special.
Fixed bayonets, Ned. You guys are up 7-0.
Thank you.
All right. Ned Yost, reference to the email he got for tonight's game, and with 1 out, nobody on, 1 ball, 1 strike on Infante, who struck out, and now he hits one into left, into the corner. Ishikawa won't get there. It's a double.
Hit shoes on tonight. Hanging breaking ball in the middle half. See it just hang up there, and he hammers it. He missed a couple pitches that he chased on against Peavy. Balls away. This one hangs out over the middle of the plate. Just drilled it into the corner.
Now everybody in this lineup has a hit tonight for Kansas City. And the batter will be Alcides Escobar. This is a Kansas City team that didn't get above 500 until June 11th. They were down 6.5 games in the division on the 1st of June. Then they went 13-2 and led the Tigers by a game and a half by June 18th. That's how hot they went. Then they got cold again. Went 9-18 during a stretch in July. So it was up and down, up and down. And as we told you, Ned Yost was shocked after the second half they had last year. They didn't really kick it into gear until late in the season. And according to him, the only time these guys really started to believe they could be this good was in that wild card game when they were down the middle innings and came back twice to beat the A's on September 30th. The 0-1 to Escobar. Back to Machi. Good play. Looks the runner back to him.
And Joe, give Ned Yost credit, because I think one of the things that jump-started this team late is when he shook up his batting order and put speed in the 1-2-3 holes. Escobar, Aoki, and Kane. That was very unusual. Escobar, Aoki really hitting in the bottom half of the lineup, moving them to the top of the order. And they've been a better offensive team since then with the speed 1-2-3.
I think a big part of it was they realized who they were. We're not going to hit home runs. Everybody harped on the fact the Royals are not hitting home runs. Okay, then you play a different game. You play the speed game within your abilities.
They hit just 95 home runs, the fewest in the big leagues. It's hard to win in the American League hitting only 95 home runs, but not when you have guys that can steal bases. And that's what they did. They got on, they pressured defenses. They played great defense themselves. They rode that bullpen. They went crazy. 41-23 to end the year. Clinched a playoff spot September 26th in Chicago against the White Sox, and here they are. Up 7-0 in Game 6, trying to even this World Series. That's inside. 2-0 on Iowa.
You happen to be frozen in time for a little bit. You woke up and you saw the Royals play. You said, yeah, I used to see this all the time when I was younger. You know, it's a flashback to the mid-'80s and '90s of how they play ball. They're going to bunt runners over. They're going to steal. It looks like a Gene Mock team. You may have a leadoff double with bunting the third, the first inning.
Runner at second, Infante, 2 out. Good play by Posey, who just bounced into a killer double play in the top of this third inning with the bases loaded and 1 out after Ventura, the 23-year-old, walked the bases loaded.
Yeah, I thought on Buster's at bat right there, if he's going to swing first pitch after Ventura's been scuffling and you're down 7, you got to put him to drink out there in left field. That's a tough pitch to swing at, dribble to short for a double play.
Runner at second, 2 out, and a walk to Aoki. On for the second time tonight.
And I agree with you, Harold. People are going to say, well, how can you swing at the first pitch? He's having trouble commanding the baseball. But you can sit your Buster Posey, you're the 3-hitter, you get a pitch up in the zone. If you're looking for that, go ahead and swing. So it's not the decision to swing, it's the result of the swing.
That ball ran back in on him and was up. I think it set his sights knowing he was going to get a fastball and wanted the ball up. He got on top of it instead of getting underneath it and getting a little backspin.
Now Lorenzo Cain, who has had a nice night, already made a good defensive play, been on base twice. Up there to rip. 2-run single last inning, scored a run, walked his first time.
We can say that every night about him, though. Already made a good defensive play. He's been playing some ball the last 3 weeks. The series he had against the Orioles, catches he was making, he carried over to the World Series. Incredible.
He can do it out of center. He can do it out of right. Good going to his left. Good going to right. Into that gap in right center field, and he became the 3rd Royal franchise history to be an MVP of an ALCS. George Brett in '85, Frank White in 1980, Lorenzo Cain here in 2014. Ball 1, 1-1.
happens when you move hitters up in the lineup like Ned Yost did. It gives them instant confidence. Like, oh, I'm at the top of the order now. They think I can hit. It's a natural reaction.
Here's a 1-1. Well, the guy at the very top, Alcides Escobar, who Yost was aware of from his days when he was managing in Milwaukee. He put him up there because he was having good at-bats, and they just needed a different look, as you said, Tom. He told Escobar, after Alcides came in to see him, saying, don't make this just a one-day thing. He said, that's up to you. If you hit, you get good at-bats, you'll stay there, and he has.
Harold, that gets back to that confidence you're talking about. Escobar hit a lot at the top of the order, 1 or 2 in the minor leagues. He's taking it and run with it.
In the air to center, Blanco on his horse back. Will get it. It hops out, and only 1 run will score. It's 8-0. On a ground roll RBI double by Lorenzo Cain.
Time Blanco actually moved in center field, he got burned. Going down at 102. Watch him have to run a long way. He's in closer than he was earlier in the game. The runner on second base and can't get to this one.
Cain just doing it again. Got 3 RBIs tonight. Now second and third for Hosmer with 2 out. Ball 1 outside. All these first-round draft picks this Royals organization came up with finally clicked. Hosmer, one of them. 2-0.
Well, we watched it with the Tampa Rays, the run they went on with B.J. Upton, Longoria. They didn't miss on their #1 picks. And in baseball, it is so important not to miss on that #1. Not that in the other sports you don't, but in baseball you have such a long learning curve for a guy to get to the big leagues. It's more of a crapshoot.
#3 overall pick in 2008, Hosmer takes a strike. It's 2-1.
Guys, we saw this the other night with Tim Collins getting knocked around a bit with an empty bullpen behind him. That's where Gene Machi is right now. He has to pick up some outs for Bruce Bochy with Game 7 in mind.
Machi will underhand to end the inning. 1 more run put up by the Royals, trying to force a Game 7 tomorrow night after 3. They lead 8-0. Lineup by the end of the 3rd inning. The Diamondbacks did it in 2001 Game 6. Here is Ventura. Stares down Sandoval as he takes a hit away. 1 down to start the 4th. Giordano's got some attitude here in the 4th inning.
Make him run a little bit, huh?
He's got 8 runs, too.
Here's Hunter Pence. He doubled his first time. He shot one fair down the right field line. Strike 1 on the outside corner. As we're in the 4th inning, 8-0. Kansas City here in Game 6.
Game 6 you talked about, 2001. Another case where it was difficult for the team on the road to clinch. This was the Yankees, and that night the Diamondbacks hit the baseball like they knew what was coming, and it turns out they did. Andy Pettitte was tipping his pitches that night.
Then just an incredible Game 7 the next week. The Diamondbacks came back to win it with Mariano Rivera on the mound. A hit by Luis Gonzalez. Tonight's telecast sponsored by Microsoft Surface. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. With 2 out and nobody on after the ground out by Pence. Here's Belt. Ventura, a long 3rd inning, walked the bases loaded, but then got out of it. As he's talking to himself and snapping at it when he gets it back from Sal Perez.
Well, last half inning, we saw Dave Ireland, pitching coach, talk to him. Basically, get aggressive. Let's go.
That's the other way. What a play, Moustakas! But the throw too high. And the inning continues. How bad did Moustakas want to finish that play?
This ball was behind him. How fast this ball hits. He just kind of smothers it. With a little bit too much on it.
Eric Hosmer, the first baseman, telling us in these plays he always braces himself because Moustakas has an absolute cannon. That was almost like a four-seamer that sailed on him.
It's a base hit for Belt. He's 1 for 2 tonight. 6 out of 20 in the World Series, and the inning continues for Michael Morse. He's never hit a home run as a DH. Takes ball 1.
It's pretty amazing. I think he had quite a few opportunities to DH.
Former American leaguer, had some big totals over a couple of years for the Washington Nationals. First year with the Giants, and it paid off for San Francisco on a 1-year deal. Hit 16 home runs. And had that strained oblique that bothered him in September. He's in the Arizona Instructional League, just trying to get live at bats during the division series. Activated for the LCS. Hit a huge home run off the bench in the 8th inning to tie game 5. Strike 1.
So a lot of pitchers think they can get the ball inside to Michael Morse because he's got that stance where he starts out with the hands away from him, a big long bat, 34.5 inches. Don't let that stance fool you. He loves the fastball in.
2-2 at 96 from Ventura. Rodano is making his 4th postseason start this year. 5th appearance. Does not have a decision. May change tonight. Full count.
Well, the adjustment he made from last inning to this is here's my fastball at 98, hit it. This is how he started the game off the first inning through 13 pitches, 12 fastball.
How about that? 15-2, the home team, and starting a rookie pitcher in the World Series since 1967. To the left side, Escobar. Ventura, the rookie, is pitching tonight to honor the memory of his late friend, Oscar Taveras. He and the Royals lead after World Series gear for the Giants, Royals, and all of baseball, the MLB.com shop. Billy Butler, DH, an RBI double. His last time up in that big 7-run, 8-hit second inning. Strike 1. From Gene Machi. Second inning of work for Machi. After Petit went just 2/3, the starter Peavy just an inning and a third. This ball might drop. There's Prince. With 1 out here in the 4th inning, we'll take you down to hear from a special guest with Aaron Andrews.
Yeah, Joe, let me introduce you to the Hetherington family. We have Stephanie, Jason, and little baby Allie. Stephanie went into labor right before game 1 here in Kansas City, right around 6:30, right? And what was your thought? Let's wait it out. Let's go to the hospital. What?
Well, initially I wanted to wait it out. I tried, and then I realized pretty quickly it was either going to get really messy or really uncomfortable. So we decided to head for the hospital and watch the game there.
Yeah, and so she's in labor. Madison Bumgarner's on the mound, game 1. How is it all going for you, Dad?
Well, pretty good, relatively speaking, because I'm watching baseball and she's sitting there laboring, and I think we're all comfortable. But of course, Madison shut us down that night. We would have rather seen a win, but we got our little World Series win, so it turned out all right.
Yeah, and all my girlfriends are texting right now saying, how is she even here? Aren't you in pain? Don't you want to be at home in the comforts of home?
You know, I am living my World Series dream finally tonight. You know, I kind of got cut off last week, so I'm just thrilled to be here, and thankfully I feel pretty good. And the score is definitely helping that.
And this is your big moment. You want to introduce your new little baby to the world here?
This is Allie Francis Hetherington.
And if the Royals are able to win this thing tomorrow night, Game 7, if this goes to a Game 7 and they can win this, do we get like a Billy Butler middle name, or what are we thinking?
We will change her middle name to Billy.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations. She's gorgeous. Joe?
All right, Aaron, thanks. Those are fans. She is tough.
Oh, my goodness.
At the game. Game 1, and she wanted to stay. They weren't at home game when they were here. It ended up 7-1 Giants, and so now they have the baby. Everything's great. The baby's beautiful, and they're back for Game 6, and their Royals are leading 8-0.
I'm surprised they didn't name it Royal. I mean, it's a perfect hit.
I guess Madison was out of the question.
That's true.
Yeah. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out, nobody on Alex Gordon. Bocce trying to soak up some innings. Count stays full.
Well, just like Tom touched on earlier, Collins did the same thing for the Royals, and I was talking with him today. He gave the Royals a chance to be in this series still. The same thing with Bocce today. He's giving them a chance for Game 7 victory tomorrow by not taxing that bullpen. No telling them what kind of game we're going to get if we go to 7. Let me just back off. If we go to 7, before everybody starts tweeting.
There's a strike over the inside corner, 2 out. Oh, you're starting to get the hang of this, huh? Doesn't matter what you say. Say anything. I forgot there was a DH 2 innings ago.
That's okay.
I wonder what they're saying.
Look at the movement on this. This is the biggest pitch that has changed the last 5 years of baseball. Now, I know Greg Maddux made it famous back in the 90s, but he's one of the only guys that throw that swing back pitch. And now that pitch has become, everybody's throwing. Wilkerson throws it, who you're looking at right there. And that's become the toughest pitch, I think, to hit.
Well, I agree with you. I think it's the combination, the 2-seamer and the cutter. No such thing as a straight fastball in the old days. Probably only 5 years ago. I'm not kidding here. Fastball counts, you'd see something straight. Fastball counts now, you may see velocity, but you'll see movement with it.
There's a strike on Salvador Perez. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, I think 2 things have happened. One, they're not afraid to walk guys because the number of strikeouts are so high. You still got a chance to strike yourself out of an inning. So pitchers are more prone to, I'm going to get movement, and if I walk him, I'll get the next guy.
Perez tests Sandoval. Long throw. Safe at first. Belt did all he could. Just couldn't hang on.
Yeah, that ball was trouble from the onset. He stepped back, tried to find something, he let it go. It's a long throw. Now you know who's running in Perez, so tried to take his time. Belt almost picked it. But Joe, I could tell by the inflection in your voice, you knew he was in trouble the minute you saw this ball hit.
Yeah, even with Perez running, you back up. Throw gets longer. It has to be in the air, and I mean, Belt's about as good as there is. We have 2 good left-handed first basemen in this World Series. Belt tried to back up, get a better hop, and just couldn't hang on. It's a hit. 12 hits already tonight for Kansas City. Strike 1 now on Moustakas.
That's the classic in between the hop, and you're absolutely right, Joe. You see he hit the heel. Because it's right at him, he really can't get it behind him to get a longer hop. Most difficult hop for a first baseman. You just saw it right there.
Moustakas Travis into left center field. Blanco to his right. Inning is over, and we go to the 5th inning. And on her 7th day, baby Allie is at a Royals game. American Idol Superstars Made Here on this network. Premieres this January on Fox. Good luck as they crank it up again as Travis Ishikawa fouls the first away left side. We're underway in the 5th inning. Giants batting down by 8. Ishikawa, Crawford, Blanco, Bonaventura. Trying to get 5 under his belt to give himself a chance for a World Series victory here in 2014. Ball 1. Strike 2.
We've seen him do what you're supposed to do with a lead, a big league especially. Pound the zone with fastballs. Coming into this inning, 46 of his 62 pitches were clocked at 95 or above. Not a lot of mystery right now.
Back to it inside. Ishikawa strikes out looking on a tailing fastball, 1 away. And that's strikeout number 4 for Ventura. He's got Ishikawa twice.
There it is, reach back 99 right on the black. And when you get this kind of lead, you can be aggressive. And he's settled in the last couple innings. I'll never forget Roger Clemens in 1986. He's hitting in the All-Star game, National League Park, so he gets to hit. You know, I was saying earlier, American League pitchers, I think they have a disadvantage and don't realize how hard it is to hit a fastball. So Clemens, standing in the batter's box, he's facing Dwight Gooden. First pitch, Gooden throws one mid-90s. He turns around to the umpire and goes, "I throw that hard?" And the umpire says, "Yeah."
That's what it looks like.
"I'll never throw another breaking ball." You know, and that's the point. I think sometimes being an American League pitcher, you forget how hard it is. That's why a National League pitcher is a lot more aggressive with their fastball.
Now he's pumping strikes. It's 0-2.
There's the curveball. Perfect location.
They've waited since 1985 to cheer in the World Series. Nobody's going anywhere. Even up 8-0, and that's ball 1 to Crawford as he checked his swing.
Well, it's a difficult game when your offense gets down 8-0. You know, it's the same thing that happened first game with Bumgarner. You're searching for things good to say on the other side, but the pitcher on the mound is dominating you. There's not a whole lot to say.
Easy play, Hosmer. 2 down. Mentioned 1985. Let's look at what was going on in our world in 1985. That was the great Michael Jordan's rookie year. What else? Madonna.
Tom had his boogie shoes on then, didn't you, Tom? I know you did, Tom.
Madonna went on her first tour. How about the top movie was Back to the Future, and then the #1 show just dominating in 85. Really every year it was on. Cosby Show.
Made it more popular than it was.
2 out. Here's the ground ball right side. Or the Fat Albert cartoons. A 1-2-3 inning for Ventura. You stick around, you just may learn something. Or 8-0 after 4.5. Available tomorrow night. They may start, but any sign of trouble, and those managers will be walking out to get the baseball.
It's going to be an interesting game tomorrow just because of that in itself.
So it's 4 classic words you hear. All hands on deck. Game 7.
Here's Infante. He struck out, doubled, scored a run, takes a strike from Machi, who's doing what the Giants hoped he would do. Soak it up. Came on in the 3rd. Pitch to scoreless fourth. Working in the fifth. One ball, one strike.
During the half-inning break on the scoreboard here, they showed a fan holding up a sign that said, "Time for new sweatshirts in 2014." It's interesting, the shops around here for the last 20 years or so had not been carrying any cold weather Royals gear because they were not in the postseason.
That's a strike over the outside corner.
People are on to their Kansas City Chiefs gear. So the blanket business, the jacket business, the sweatshirt business picked up here in Kansas City.
They love their sports here in this city, in this complex. The Chiefs play on the other side of the parking lot is as good as it gets. Philly is fantastic with all the major sporting venues in the same area in Kansas City with baseball and football here sharing these lots. Well, they know how to have fun before and after games here as well. Here comes a 2-2 pitch to Infante. Left side base hit, 2 for 3. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal here in the fifth.
Well, Joe, tickets here for the entire postseason have been really hot and really expensive. And the way it's looking right now, it will be no different for Game 7. Here are the prices online as of this moment, approximately. Standing room, $750. Royals dugout, behind the dugout, $2,000 to $3,000. In the outfield, $1,000 to $1,500. Joe, I'm going to put your seat up for sale and see what I get.
That's fine. Everybody in San Francisco will chip in and replace me. It's just good fun. One on, nobody out. Escobar into left field. Ishikawa will get it. Up against the wall. Infante is going to hold at third, and now he runs through. He is safe, and it's 9-0. The stop sign at third.
More than that, Joe. Around the third base coach. I've never, ever seen that happen before. Jershely is holding up the runner on this play. Of course, with the big lead, no reason really to push the accelerator. And you'll see Infante actually pass Jershely on the outside, not the inside. Like the backstretch of Darlington.
But watch Omar's path again. He's going to look over behind himself. See, Jershey's in position to hold him. He's looking behind him. Now he looks at the base. Now he looks up. It's too late. I'm sorry, I can't run you over. I'm going to go around you.
Actually going around Jershely, he had a better angle to the plate, and Posey had no chance to even reach him.
He almost had a collision outside the third base coaching box, not the plate. Wow.
Looked like he came running out of the dugout on the third base side with that angle. Now it's Aoki. After a visit from Dave Righetti, a single, a double. A run scored. It's 9-0, and Nori, who has an RBI single, a run scored, and a walk, swung and missed at the first pitch. Now Hunter Strickland, the rookie, gets loose.
Yeah, Machi's getting a little tired. Getty went out to buy a little time. Just asked the big fella to try to get through it.
Doing these games for a long time. It's the first time for you guys to sit up here and watch a World Series and commentate. I'm telling you, we get a Game 7 and it's looking more and more. That's becoming a reality as we play these middle innings here tonight. There's a 1-1. That will be a night to cherish, no matter what happens, because it's rare these days that you get to a Game 7, and to me it's when this game is the best game in this country when everything can come down to one pitch, one swing. You may have that tomorrow night.
Joe, I know you've done Super Bowls. I know the NBA Finals are exciting. There is no better day in all of sports than a Game 7.
Here's a 2-1. Aoki, runner goes to third. That's Escobar. 1 out. We'll look back to Game 6, 1985, and this is the winning run sliding in, and that's Jim Sundberg in Game 6, and about the same angle and basically the same uniform. A little better technology with the cameras, but the throw, and there's the hand first slide by Omar Infante here in the 5th inning. For the ninth one. That was Dane Orge who delivered that hit. We showed that highlight, Tom, before the game when we were doing an update as Lorenzo Cain stands in. A couple things jumped out at me about that highlight. I was reminded how good Andy Van Slyke's arm was out and right. Threw a laser to home plate. Strike 1 on Lorenzo Cain. That Game 6 was won by Dane Orge. After that call at first base, Don Denkinger, who talked about it, that call at first, known for that call, but this was a great umpire. Don Denkinger, who handled it so well. He's a big league umpire for 30 years. Here's Cain chopping one too short. Long throw, what a play by Crawford. 2 out.
You wonder about Crawford's ability to read. This looks like an NFL quarterback on a rollout.
Tonight's telecast sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. What a play by Brandon Crawford.
Well, watch him look to third base here. All right, looks at the runner. No, I'm going to go back over this way. I think I'll throw it in the flat. No, he's open in the corner. I mean, this is an amazing athletic play. And to have the arm strength to throw out Lorenzo Cain flying down the line, that's as good a play as you're going to see.
What arm strength he has.
Strike 1 to Hosmer.
And I'll tell you something I noticed Brandon Crawford does. Every inning when he takes ground balls, every throw he makes is from right this position, deep shortstop. Panik always takes the throws down to second because Crawford is always making the longest throw he will have to make in the game. I just love the foresight to do that.
0-1 the count, runner at third, 2 out. Just to finish on Denkinger. Proves he's a stand-up guy. Every time he's quoted, he told the AP prior to the series, nobody wants to have the call that I did in the World Series, but I did, and now it's a part of history. I'm not tired of talking about it. I mean, it happened. Retired after 98. Was on the plate Game 7 in 91, the Jack Morris game. 1-0 win when Jack pitched all 10 innings. It would be talked about with the Royals getting to the World Series for the first time since 1985, and I just applaud the way he's handled that whole thing ever since.
Absolutely, and don't think that was not a factor in why the umpires as a group wanted instant replay, because a great man and a great umpire is remembered for one call out of thousands that he did not get right. Nobody wants that on their career.
There's a 1-2. Inning is over. Machi gets through the inning. Another run put up by Kansas City and through 5. We go to the 6th inning, Game 6. Elmar's still running in the dugout. That's Infante, 9-0. Royals having all the fun tonight. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. Ventura back to work, has a better defense behind him as Gerard Dyson is in the game in center, and that moves Lorenzo Cain into right. With Alex Gordon in left, that's the best outfield you can find. If every team was playing right now in the major leagues, that's a strike to make it 1 ball, 1 strike on Panik.
Yeah, they're going to cut off every ball. And the one thing that gets lost is The balls they cut off in the gap, diving, sliding to keep a double play in order. Maybe not as important in this situation, but throughout the year, to keep a double play and have a pitcher have a chance to get out of a big inning, their outfield comes into play big with that.
Here's a 2-1. Out of play, 2-2. Ventura is still hitting mid-90s. Only at 75 pitches here in Game 6. Dave Island checking out his 23-year-old. Panic in the air to right center. Who wants it? It's Kane, 1 out. Take us around this ballpark, Tom.
Well, it's a big tour. The outfield, obviously, they're great defenders. They have a lot to cover. You look at the dimensions, but I always thought the better measurement of a ballpark is how much fair territory that there is. And this has 116,000 square feet. That's the biggest in the American League. Comparatively, say compared to Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, you have a lot more, 12,000 more square feet to cover here than you would in Philadelphia.
Hence the importance of the way guys can run, the jumps they get in the outfield, and that's what the Kansas City Royals feature with Gordon, Dyson, and Kane.
So you're saying, what's 12,000 square feet? Give me an idea of that.
Strike 2 on Posey.
This ball lost the bat, but the huge scoreboard here in center field, which they redid a couple of years ago, is 8,700 square feet. You just imagine you added that much more, plus another 4,000 to Citizens Bank Park. That's how much ground you had to cover. Extra ground, 12,000 square feet. Or perhaps that's Chateau Reynolds in New Jersey.
Yeah.
12,000 square feet.
This is Escobar to his left. Posey still looking for that first extra base hit tonight. He's 0 for 3.
I was going to say, Tom, that no wonder we're in the Midwest. You can afford all that space compared to Philly. Imagine what that would cost.
It's the only ballpark in the big leagues this year that had more stolen bases than home runs. Well, that's a function of the way Kansas City plays, but think about that. You're more likely to see a stolen base than a home run in this ballpark.
There's Pablo Sandoval with 2 out, nobody on. This place underwent a $250 million renovation in 2009. Panda heads travel. As Pablo takes the ball up and away, and he's driving by on the highway out beyond the wall and left, center, and center. You look into this stadium, which is actually below the street level of the highway. This is one of the most intimate, pretty sporting venues that the United States has to offer.
That's beautiful. Always been my favorite. I made my major league debut here, Kansas City. It's just a great place. But I think back to the old Royal teams in the mid-'80s and early '90s, and this was AstroTurf. They used to gap you to death. And it seemed like it was always second and third, no matter what would happen in the situation. They were gapping balls everywhere.
Count 2-1 on Sandoval, 0 for 2.
We talked about this in San Francisco, another big ballpark. 3 straight games without a home run in the World Series. That hadn't happened since '48. We haven't seen 4 in a row without one since 1920. Turn back the clock series.
Three balls and a strike on Sandoval with 2 out, nobody on. That's a walk to keep the inning alive for the Giants.
Well, you want to look at some of the defense here that the outfielders have been able to make. Watch how far he goes to get this ball right here. Remember, this ball hit by Hosmer in Game 1 might have changed things around. Lorenzo Cain, 122 feet. He's just jogging. I got it, no problem. But just how far these guys go to get baseballs changes how the game's played. I'll give you this one, Tom. That's not that far. I'm not tired yet. Look at the distance Lorenzo Cain covers and the speed in which they've been able to do this in. Makes it fun to watch.
Here's Pence. That's Ventura with some flair. Inning over. And the 23-year-old says, you won a Game 7? Throw it on my back. Big night for Kansas City. Up 9-0. Game 6. Down and away, ball 1. Hunter Strickland takes over for Machi. You said the numbers coming in, Tom Verducci, about what teams have done since 1982. Coming back home in a World Series for Game 6, and most of the time, as it turns out, Game 7.
About 22-3 at home in Game 6 and 7. That certainly qualifies as most. I was shocked to hear the number is that overwhelming. Yeah, it's great to be at home. You get the fans behind you. Close game, the benefit of batting last. Overwhelmingly in favor of the home team deep in the series.
Strickland misses. Count 3-0. Saw the number, the 5 home runs, including 1 in this series that came back the last time we were here in Kansas City. Ball hit by Infante. Game 2. 3-0 pitch on the way. It's a strike from Strickland.
I saw Hunter walking down the street the other day with his wife and his family in San Francisco. T-shirt on. Dude, we're in.
His manager, Bruce Bochy, said nobody can lift with him. Strongest guy on the team. 3-1 pitch. Full count. Just to give it to you again, since 1982, 10 World Series teams have returned home for Game 6, trailing 3-2, like the Royals have here tonight. 8 of those 10 teams won Game 6 at home to stay alive, and all 8 also won Game 7 to capture the series. 8 out of 10. It includes the 85 Royals, who beat the Cardinals in 6 and 7. Still 3-2.
That is alarming.
I mean, some of those numbers you can just ball up and throw away. Who cares? I mean, these Royals don't care about the 2002 Angels or the 85 Royals for that matter, but I mean, 8 out of 10, that's got to get your attention.
I'm telling you, batting last has a lot to do with it, as obviously the 85 Royals found out. Game number 6. It's
a leadoff walk.
Back in the old days, you have your choice as the home team to bat first or second. The home team always took second, so they just made it a rule.
I want to talk about gorging on football. How about 14 straight hours of college football this Saturday on Fox Sports 1. So go to the store to load up on all the chips you need. Get the sofa ready. Kick back for back-to-back-to-back-to-back games this Saturday on Fox Sports 1. There are the matchups. Here's Gordon.
Catch up real quick this weekend, huh?
I know the Oregon Ducks are never far from your mind, even during this time of year. There's ball 1 to Gordon, who is 1 for 3 tonight.
Did football season start?
It starts this weekend. Oregon Stanford.
Here's a 1-0. Hard hit. Panic gets 1, and they got them both. 4-6-3. And the rookie just stayed with it.
I'll tell you what, this is one of those drills you do with the flat glove, where you basically using a pancake glove and you knock the ball down. This is just with touch. Knocks it down, he's able to stay with it, but if he's able to hang on to that, he's going to have it in his glove. But that comes through drill after drill after drill. Short hops, everything else. Look at him get in the right position, fields the ball, and the only reason he missed that is because the ball kicked into his palm instead of into the web of the glove. But other than that, all positioning was right. He knocked it down, got the double play.
Here's Salvador Perez. Ground ball to short. Weird hop. Crawford makes the play. And a nice inning by Hunter Strickland. Gets around the leadoff walk. Let's go to the 7th inning. Game 6, 9-0 KC. Back. A big 7-run second for Kansas City. Lead 9-0. And Brandon Belt, first pitch, hack and strike one. Brandon 1 for 2. It'll be Belt, Morris, and Ishikawa. Ventura rolling now. Here's one into right. Easy for Kane. One down.
Well, here's what he's done. Ventura. He's been aggressive with the fastball. He started off the night, the first inning, just attacking. But I want you to see all the different places because you throw so hard, 97, 98, 96 right there. You can miss spots in the middle like he did right there with that one, 97, another one, 97. And look what he's doing. Once he got ahead, it was right down Broadway and go ahead and get a hit. If you look at him, that's what he's been doing right there. It's just come get it. That's the luxury of having the big 9-0 lead.
Look at that.
And the leg is getting even higher with every delivery.
Pitch number 88 at the end of a long year. He's over 200 innings at the big league level, including the playoffs. He hit 100 miles per hour. 1 ball, 1 strike on Michael Morris.
He's got a little bit of Pedro Martinez in him, no question about it. That's his mentor. That finish with a flourish, especially with that right leg, definitely reminiscent of the great Pedro Martinez.
How about that? 84, and that sneaks in on the outside part, strike 2.
He's dancing out there now. He's having some fun. Throwing a little flavor in there. He's going salsa on him on the mound. A little merengue.
Here's 2. Escobar gets a high hop. 2 down.
Speaking of Pedro Martinez, now the delivery's a little bit different. Ventura drops the right shoulder. Pedro keeps the shoulders square and is more of a flat back on delivery. But the finish, absolutely. So much torque and small bodies. Watch the right leg swing completely around the body.
Remember when the Dodgers gave up on Pedro because they thought his body wouldn't hold up? Pedro Martinez went on to Montreal, traded to Boston. Was obviously a superstar with the Boston Red Sox. Saw him at the end with the Philadelphia Phillies. He could probably still get some outs right now.
Oh, he could. I still don't think Pedro had the leg kick like this guy on the finish.
It's outside to Ishikawa, ball 2. Pedro was with the Dodgers. His brother Ramon Martinez was with the Dodgers.
So I want you to see the leg kick. All right, this is when you're up 9-0 in the 7th. I can go ahead and do whatever I want to do. Yeah. 100-mile-an-hour pitch. Guess we'll throw a little Michael Jackson in there. I mean, it's ridiculous. That kind of finish.
There's a 3-0. 96 for strike 1, and Ishikawa is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. As far as Giordano hitting 100, first 4 innings he didn't do it. 5th he did it once. 6th he did it once. In the 7th here he's done it twice. Now a full count.
Pitches.
Probably be it. This 7th inning. What's he got on 3 and 2? He's got 1. His 5th of the night. Perez out to talk. As we will hear the talk from Kenny Rosenthal. Kenny.
Joe, thanks. We always make the Pedro comparison. It's been made with Giordano Ventura since he was in the minor leagues. But talking to Royals bench coach Don Wakamatsu tonight, he dropped another name on me, and not because of any physical resemblance or even the resemblance in stuff. He said he was excited to see Ventura pitch and continue to grow in this postseason atmosphere because in the Royals' minds, he can be their Felix Hernandez.
Wow. King Felix comparison for Rodano Ventura.
Well, the upside is so big for this kid. And he doesn't even fully develop his off-speed stuff yet.
Ball one to Brandon Crawford.
Tom, you gave a stat earlier tonight how many fastballs he's attacked with.
Yeah, listen, I mean, he's not the strike thrower Felix Hernandez is. That is extremely high praise. But in terms of the arm strength, age of 23.
That's into center and almost took the hat of Ventura with it. 2 on, 2 out. And Brandon Crawford now has hit in 8 straight World Series games.
That is a bullet. Because he's got that finished with a flourish, he cannot defend his position in any way, shape, or form.
That was watch your lips, Chuck and duck. One thing about big league hitters, man, you can't sneak the cheese by a rat. They're going to be ready to hit that fastball.
Now with 2 on, 2 out, Dave Island is out to talk to buy some time with Jason Frazier.
It was remarkable, Joe, too. We started off talking about the arm injury that he was afraid. He threw one pitch, and it was like, whoa, 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 my arm's hurt. There's been no signs of that at all.
That was during the ALCS. In the start against the Orioles in Baltimore. Ned Yost said that was just a young guy who felt a little soreness and got worried. And they weren't worried about it at all. The elbow checked out fine. Forget any MRIs or CAT scans or x-rays. The radar gun tells you that his elbow is fine. There's Blanco 0 for 2. 2 on, 2 out, panic on deck. Ventura trying to finish the 7th. That stays in play, he will. Moustakas back in out, inning over. And the kid with 100 pitches on the night gets through 7 shutout innings on 3 hits. Give you the game summary here. It's Goodyear, more driven. Bottom of the 7th inning rolls in. Andrew Susak, who is a real prospect for the Giants, takes over behind the plate, giving Posey the rest of the night off. And here's a strike from Strickland into Moustakas.
I like the move to give Susak a chance to catch, play, maybe get that bat.
Getting it back. He is due up 2nd in the 8th inning. Bruce Bochy, Tom told us that at the trade deadline, the guy that most teams asked about when the Giants were trying to add to their ball club was this catcher, Andrew Susak.
Yeah, they've always liked him, but made a lot of progress, especially offensively in the last year. Another catcher, Hector Sanchez, they're high on, battling concussion issues this year.
Switch hitting catcher, tough to find those. Guy with some pop. And this is outside 2-1.
Yeah, talking about Sanchez.
Yeah.
And it also gets Posey off his feet. I mean, if there's any, I guess, an optimistic side to a blowout game 6, you get people rested, and each team can go into a game 7 with fully rested bullpens in terms of their winning pieces.
Off the end of the bat, 2-2 now on Moustakas, who has an RBI double, run scored, 1 for 3 tonight.
At the end of the day, a loss is a loss. You come back for game 7 and you're ready to go. That's just the bottom line. Would you like to have a better performance and be closer than 9-0 right now? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, the series will be 3-3 and you play game 7.
Moustakas on 2-2. That's fouled on the left field line. One of the many outstanding scouts for the San Francisco Giants is Steve Balboni. He's an advanced scout. He's not the only guy. Keith Champion's done a great job for them. Pat Burrell, Brian Johnson, former catcher. Burrell was a champion with the Giants when they picked him up late in his career. Late Stan Selesky. passed away on October 11th. Much too early at the age of 59. Those guys advance. Scout as Moustakas hits it into right. Back at the wall. It is gone. 10-zip. Who hit 36 home runs for the 85 Kansas City Royals, and Mike Moustakas right on cue goes deep into right. His 5th home run of this postseason for a guy that was sent down to the minor leagues at the age of 26 this season to find his stroke. Home run by another left-handed batter against Hunter Strickland, and the 6th overall, 5 by lefties this postseason against number 60.
Well, it's a cutter or a slider that just comes back out over the plate, and Moustakas didn't miss it. And if you're thinking, yeah, he hit a home run and it's 9-0, did you hear him when he got back to the dugout? Just had a home run in the World Series. Somebody told him.
Eric Hosmer was telling him that. I caught that too, and I just love that out of this Royals team. Every step of the way, they have enjoyed this run. They're not pretending they're too cool for school. You just hit a home run in the World Series.
For the stuff that Hunter Strickland has, it's, I guess, proof that it doesn't matter how hard you throw. If you make a mistake at this level, they're going to get you. But that's 6 home runs against Hunter Strickland this postseason, 5 of them with a left-handed batter.
Postseason record. The other one's all on fastball center cut. This was the breaking ball. And this guy's got closer stuff. He's probably trying to figure out why himself.
During the NLCS, if Escobar fouls it back, the theory was floated, as it would be with any pitcher with this kind of stuff, that maybe he was tipping his pitches. We talked to Bruce Bochy about it coming into the World Series. He said they worked on some mechanical issues with Hunter, but they didn't believe that Strickland was tipping his pitches at all.
Yeah, remember, this guy came back in just 10 months from Tommy John surgery. That's extremely quick. Part of his rehab, he went to this throwing motion where he takes the ball out of the glove with a little tap, puts it back in. That was one of the things that they were looking at. In other words, really trying to retrain himself to throw and to pitch. That was a drill he went through with that tap. But as you said, they diagnosed that and said, we don't think he's tipping.
Let me tell you what, Escobar's taking some big hacks, falling all over the place. And had Hunter not had that little dust up earlier in the World Series, he'd be on his back right now. He would.
I agree with you. Escobar getting big swings. The count's still 0-2. Strickland got into a shouting match with Salvador Perez in Game 2. And up to it, another big swing by Escobar to Strickland's credit. He said, that was on me. I was wrong. And it was Salvador Perez who was rounding third, coming to the plate on a home run hit that inning by Omar Infante. Breaking ball that is popped up into left center field. That was another mistake that Strickland got away with. 2 out. Blanco puts it away. 2 out here in the 7th. And just to finish with Steve Balboni, who's a scout with the Giants, beloved here in the mid-'80s. And the 36 home runs he hit, still a franchise record. Played 160 games. The big first baseman, DH type, and now he's scouting for the enemy here in the World Series. And what a great job he and that crew have done so far this postseason. Dyson, strike one.
I played with him in Seattle. You talk about power. You know, you always hear that term light tower power, and different anecdotes like that. He had as much power as anybody ever going to be around or see.
And it was a single in that Game 6 rally in '85. That was a key.
When your nickname is Bye-Bye.
It better be, huh?
Yeah, it better be home runs, or that's not a good nickname.
Tells you how big this yard is, though, that total 36 and 85 still stands. Franchise record.
Nice into the right side, belt to the bag. The inning is over. Steve was playing for the Royals. It was 11-0 in Game 7 when the Royals won it all in 1985. Tonight, it's tough. 2015 Women's World Cup will be seen next year on Fox and Fox Sports 1 as Jason Frazier takes over the 7th game of this postseason. Abby Wambach is just simply one of the best soccer players on the planet. 34 years old, born in Rochester, New York, played in Florida. And Sydney, actually from Canada, college at UCLA, 24 years old. We wish them all our best next year in the World Cup.
So they've held it down for a long time. U.S. women, top of the world, just set a bar that's attainable for all the young ladies in this country. It's pretty incredible what they've done.
They are role models to so many. Here's Panik. That's up the middle, and Joe Panik is on to start the 8th. Meanwhile, Ventura, guys, just to finish on Giordano, will get the win, barring some incredible comeback. And 64 of his 100 pitches tonight were 95 miles per hour or more. 4 were at 100. Here's Sousa.
Marvelous arm, and it's easy. It's just an easy release. There's no effort. We've listened to a lot of guys grunt with all the great microphones we have around here. No grunt, just there it is.
Only guy now to not appear in this series is the backup catcher for Kansas City, Eric Kratz. Doesn't have an at-bat this entire postseason. Susak is the backup for Posey, ball 1.
Well, you think about the job Ventura did, you almost lose track of how young he is. 23 years old. Stands to win this game and be the 2nd youngest Game 6 winner in history.
That's outside from Frazier, 2-0.
Paul Dean of the 34 Cardinals was 22 years old when he won a Game 6, also facing elimination. And the Cardinals beat Detroit in Game 7 to win the championship.
In the air to center field. Back is Dyson on the run. 1 out.
Well, remember how this game began for Ventura. Actually began yesterday when he told Salvador Perez he was dedicating this game to his friend Oscar Taveras, tragically killed in a car crash in the Dominican Republic. They were friends growing up, competed against one another, and trained together at one time, roomed in the same complex in the Dominican Republic. And he was a man on the mission. Didn't forget to enjoy it and to have fun.
Dedicating that performance, as you said, to Oscar. Killed at the age of 22.
Still numb from that one. It's just a couple days ago. It's so hard to even imagine.
There's a strike to Pablo Sandoval. Jason Frazier, who's picked up from Texas during the year, add to this bullpen. Grew up in Blue Island, Illinois, the south side of Chicago. Brother Joe, mom and dad Sue and Frank, rooting him on, and so proud of the pitcher he's become at this big league level. And ended this 10-0 game in the 8th inning here in Game 6. Ryan Vogelson, who started Game 4, getting loose for the Giants. Ball 2 on Sandoval. They say in baseball, momentum is only as good as your next day's starter. And The starter for the Giants will be 39-year-old Tim Hudson. The starter for the Royals will be Jeremy Guthrie. He was the winner in Game 3. Hudson. That ball is ripped into right off the bat of Sandoval. Stopping at second is Panic. 2 on, 1 out. As we'll show you the box score. We'll talk about that pitching matchup tomorrow and the other guys we may see. Geico in-game box score for the Giants. There it is. Not many hits as Ventura gave up 3. Frazier now in the third of an inning is allowed 2 singles.
Well, the stuff is not the same, clearly. After you're facing somebody who's thrown 64 pitches over 95 plus, you're feeling pretty good no matter who steps out there on the mound.
Hunter Pence now 2 on, 1 out. Hunter's got a double. Came back in the second, and what was then a scoreless game pops up. It is handled. Infield fly rule in effect. Perez has it. 2 down. Guys, let's talk about tomorrow and about Tim Hudson. Will be the oldest starting pitcher to get the nod in a Game 7 in World Series history against Jeremy Guthrie, the well-traveled Jeremy Guthrie. But plenty of help between both guys tomorrow night.
Yeah, I thought they both threw the ball well in Game 3, but to me it's a manager's game. You saw how quickly Bruce Bochy got Jake Peavy out of this game. Same applies tomorrow. All hands on deck. No road team has won a Game 7 since 1979. That's what the Giants are up against in terms of history.
Willie Stargell will come in. Remember the home run Stargell hit.
Strike 1 on Brandon Belt.
Yeah, tomorrow for me, it's not the beginning. It's not the first inning. It's the 4th and 5th. Because we know what's going to happen in the 7th. They're both going to go to their pins. You know, so it's those innings 4, 5, and maybe 6 that are going to decide this game.
It's another reason why it's the best day in sports. I mean, all the general rules of engagement for playing a baseball game do not apply. We played 2,460 baseball games this year, and it all gets distilled down to 1 game. It's been too long. Just 1 Game 7 in the last 11 years. We're in for a treat.
Here's a 1-1. Strike 2 as Frazier tries to turn in a scoreless 8th.
I love it. I'm excited about it. The anticipation, the conversation, and it's the best thing that can happen to our game. To have a Game 7.
Figure to see Bumgarner at some point tomorrow night. Man has got 4 wins and 6 starts, an ERA of 1.13, coming off a shutout in Game 5. But tonight belongs to Kansas City. Two and 2. Bumgarner, by the way, has made 4 career relief appearances. Last one was Game 6 of the 2010 NLCS in Philadelphia. Pitched 2 scoreless innings on 2 days of rest. Strikeout ends the inning. Scoreless frame put up by Frazier.
You know?
Ah, that was nice. That's our producer, Pete Macheska. I'd love to see what he and Bill Webb, our director, looked like back in 1985. Probably working at CBS, Pete, back then.
Exactly. I thought they said CBS.
Either one.
Maybe.
You want some more coffee, Mr. Madden? Strike 2 on Lorenzo Cain. Ryan Vogelsong, there are the numbers from Game 4, and he did not get through 3 innings. relief appearance for Vogelsong, who has that riding fastball miss. 1-2 strikes on Lorenzo Cain. First relief appearance since April of 2011 against Atlanta, and Tim Collins, the lefty, gets loose.
I was covering this World Series back then in '85. I didn't have an assigned seat in the press box.
Why are you graduating?
Well, I remember that because after the game I was in the back of the press box writing on an old Radio Shack computer. 3 lines at a time is all you could see back then. That was state of the art. And I used these boxes that had World Series programs as a makeshift desk. I was in a broom closet.
Was that for Sports Illustrated?
That was for Newsday back then, New York Newsday.
And that picture is up, and at least it used to be up in the press room at Shea Stadium. Did they move those
no,
pictures?
It's still there, unfortunately. Every time you walk in the back of the box in Citi Field.
I'm Eric Stratton.
It's there.
1-2 the count, 2-2.
That looked like you were getting ready to audition with Travolta or somebody with that hair.
A little Saturday Night Fever?
Up with people.
Long time ago, fellas.
That was Eric Stratton. He was damn glad to meet you. Here's a 2-2 pitch from Vogelsong. It's inside a full count.
So how crazy was it when the Royals won that night in '85?
Well, it was crazy because obviously it happened. You think the Cardinals, everybody's writing their stories about the Cardinals winning the World Series. A lot different than tonight. A lot of drama back in Game 6 then.
3-2 to Cain is outside, a leadoff walk. The manager back then was Dick Hauser of the Kansas City Royals. As tonight's telecast is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss. By MasterCard, anytime, anywhere you use your MasterCard, you can get a priceless surprise. The beloved Dick Hauser, the late Dick Hauser, manager of the '85 championship Royals, died in 1987 at the age of 51 of a brain tumor. A lot of people don't remember. Steve Horn, our editorial consultant, reminds us, an all-star infielder for the 1961 Kansas City Athletics. He was the manager for the 1980 Yankees team that won 100 games. Lost to the Royals in the LCS. Dick Hauser, that number 10, retired by this great franchise. It's out there in left field next to George Brett and Frank White.
You know, it was a weird thing. I was playing in '85 and obviously '87, and to hear of someone of that stature that you're used to seeing, and knowing the complications he went through, it's just not as common as today. We have so many efforts, you know, whether it's cancer or whatever the drive might be. There's a lot more efforts now than there were back then. And things are always kind of, weren't aware of all the different things that he might have been going through.
You said it, Joe. One of only 3 men, you see him right there, to wear a Royals uniform, to have that number retired. And what a job he did that entire postseason. Remember, they were down 3-1 in the ALCS to Toronto, and down 3-1 in the World Series, and won both series.
1-2 the count on Hosmer. And now the strikeout for out number 1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. And those numbers are retired, obviously, next to the number 42 retired throughout baseball for Jackie Robinson.
We're down to look at number 20 out there as well, Frank White. 8 gold gloves here. They had some players, man. Frank White coming through that academy that they had. Ron Washington, Frank White. It was an academy that the Royals had built. Those guys came through that. The stuff that this organization has done through the years of developing players has been absolutely incredible.
Frank White was the second baseman here from 1973 to 1990. Thinking names like Willie Wilson, Amos Otis, Willie Aikens. Here is Butler. Count even at a ball and a strike.
I battled Frank for gold gloves, right? And I won my first gold glove to knock off his streak. That same season, I had thrown a ball away playing here in Kansas City to lose a game. And at the end of the night, I'm walking out. Frank waited for me talk about what I needed to do on that specific play. Slow down, take the time. That's the type of person he is.
Strike 2 on Butler.
I stole his gold glove. It's cold.
Well, we've had a good time, obviously, checking in with George Brett every day. At one point last year, George Brett was the active hitting coach for the Royals. Here's Butler, ground ball to third. That's Arias. Out at second, out at first. They turn the double play. That sends game number 6 into the 9th inning. Giants will bat. Tim Collins getting ready. 10-0. Collins will try to finish off the shutout. Bruce Bochy on the left. Ed Yost on the right. The last time back-to-back shutouts by different teams, 1958, the Braves and the Yankees. 3, 4, and 5. Strike 1 on Morse. Eric Kratz, the backup catcher for the Royals, got to be thinking, what has to happen to get me into a World Series game? Come on, Ned. Give him a taste of it. Instead, Salvador Perez gets another inning, and Morse pops it up. That's Hosmer, 1 out. After 22 years of service to the game that he loves, Commissioner of Baseball will be stepping down at the end of this year. Rob Manfred is the commissioner-elect. He is here. Let's see. There's George Will. That luxury suite. Juan Perez steps in.
He's done some amazing things for the game. You know, it's easy to talk about the wild card, but how about the impact he's brought back to the legends? When you look at Hank Aaron Award, look at Jackie Robinson's retirement, the number, and just seeing everywhere you go, the George Bretts and everybody else that's involved in the game.
Right side and base hit for Juan Perez. Caps, hoodies, jerseys, jackets, and more. Get all the officially licensed World Series gear for the Giants, Royals, and all of baseball at the MLB.com shop. Something, Tom, you and Harold both talked about coming into this World Series. As you look at Commissioner Seelig, it was on his watch that the wild card was introduced into Major League Baseball. And without that, and now 2 wild card teams since 2012, these 2 teams wouldn't be here.
Kind of fitting, right, for the Commissioner's last World Series. 2 wild cards, and not only that, Joe, think about the reason why these games 6 and 7 are in Kansas City. It's because the American League won the All-Star game. Another idea that came out of the Commissioner's office, try to invigorate that All-Star game, put something on the line. And Ed Yost, his press conference, made sure to thank the American Leaguers the other day for making sure the Royals got the home field advantage in the World Series. So the Commissioner in his 22 years will get to watch his 5th Game 7.
Well, he goes around with his legacy now into history as the greatest commissioner of all time.
That's down for ball 1 to Matt Duffy, who is getting his 6th at bat this postseason. He's 1 for 1 in the series.
And that statement goes out and out. Look at the revenue. Look at all the things that have happened in the game.
Changeup got him, 2 down. Nobody has left this ballpark. They're packed in, waving towels. They want to see the period at the end of this Game 6 to officially send us to Game 7 tomorrow night. Strike 1 on Blanco.
You think it's loud now. Can you only imagine, you won't have to imagine long, what it's going to be like here at Game 7.
Charged up for this place.
Tim Hudson, Jeremy Guthrie, the starters. with plenty of help behind him. The starter tonight for the Giants, Jake Peavy, will go to 1-5 in his career in the postseason and 1-7 in his career overall in this stadium. Meanwhile, the kid, Giordano Ventura, 23 years old, will get his first win this postseason. The kid beat the vet. Still 0-2. Manager for the Royals, Ned Yost, didn't have to use his big three in the bullpen. You want to call him the big four with the left-hander Brandon Finnegan. They're ready for tomorrow night. Meanwhile, the Giants have their great bullpen ready, with Madison Bumgarner lurking for tomorrow night. Here's the 0-2. Do it again.
Well, you talk about putting a period on a tremendous postseason. With Madison Bumgarner knowing he's going to have an opportunity to throw tomorrow. And the question is, how long will he go? 2 innings, 3 innings? He'll be in the game. You count on that.
How about Tim Hudson waiting all those years? 16 years to start a Game 7 of the World Series. And it's official. Game 7 tomorrow night. Royals win Game 6 10-0. A 3-hour, 21-minute game, and those packed in to Kauffman Stadium. Enjoyed every second of it. Let's take you down to the field and check in with Erin Andrews.
Joe, thanks so much. Here with Lorenzo Cain. 2 for 3 RBI for you tonight, but let's talk about the bottom of the second where it all just broke open. You guys were not even able to hit Yusmeiro Petit in Game 4 here of the World Series. What changed tonight against him?
You know, we felt like we was in a desperate situation. Like I said, guys stepped up in a big way tonight. We felt like we just had to get it done. You know, find any way possible to get on base or driving runs. And to come out and play the way we did tonight, outstanding.
Yeah, and your pitcher got it done too. At 23 years old, Ned Yost saying this stage not that big for him. He can handle the spotlight. What was it like watching him deal?
It's always awesome. I've been watching him do that all year long, keeping guys off balance. You know, I definitely wouldn't want to face him. You know, definitely really good curveball, 95, 90, the 98 fastball. So he's definitely a tough outer. But like I said, he stepped up in a huge way for our team. And I'm glad he was able to come out here and get it done tonight.
Do you hear this right now? This is Game 6. These people are waiting for Game 7 tomorrow. They've also been waiting since 1985 for you to win another World Series. Can you even imagine what the energy will be like here tomorrow?
I'm expecting it to be the same as tonight or even more. This crowd has been electric throughout this postseason. And like I say, they've supported us and cheered us on the whole way. So like I said, they need to come back and bring it again tomorrow. And we need to show up tomorrow as well.
We'll see you then.
All right, see you later.
Thanks for your time, Joe.
Aaron, thank you, and thanks to Lorenzo Cain. He was in the middle of it again for the Royals, who have forced